Sadly, 6 years after the terrorist attacks, controversy is still clouding the memory of these brave souls.
There were 40 of them altogether, crew and passengers combined, on Flight 93 to San Francisco that fateful Tuesday, 9/11/2001. This was one of the 4 doomed flights that day. But this was the different one. This was the one where the good guys won, but died doing it. Once the passengers caught on that the World Trade Center and Pentagon had been attacked by hijacked planes, they realized they were next. But they were not going to let it happen. So they band together, strangers in arms, and overtook the terrorists on board. Flight 93 crashed in a rural field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing everyone on the plane. Tom Burnett Sr. was among those on Flight 93 that day. His wife, Dina, spoke to him and will always have the memory of those conversations to pass along to their 3 daughters.
I knew in my heart that he was really concentrating on the effort to get home to the girls and me.
Another passenger who perished was Louis Nackey II, better known as Joey. He too left behind a wife and 2 children. And 6 years later, there is still no peace for these victims or their fellow passengers, as they now find their memorial clouded in controversy.
And joining us from Minneapolis is Tom Burnett Sr., whose son Tom was one of those heroes. From California, we have the author of Crescent of Betrayal, blogger Alec Rawls.
Kenny Nackey is with us here in studio, younger brother of Louis, also known as Joey, who also perished in that Pennsylvania field that day.
And we have the chairman of the Flight 93 National Memorial Advisory Commission, John Reynolds, joining us as well. So one thing that everybody agrees upon is that there should be a memorial. You all want to move forward with the memorial. The issue, though, Tom, why don't you tell us what you feel the issue is?
Yes. First, I'd like to thank you for having me on, giving me a voice with your audience, as I told Liz.
Liz is our producer.
The problem that we've got stems from our final meeting of Jury 2, and that jury decided on a flawed memorial design, and that design is an insult to my son, and in my opinion, an insult to the rest of the passengers on that flight and crew.
This design called Crescent of Embrace is by an architect named Paul Murdoch, designer named Paul Murdoch. And basically you say when you saw this, the first thing you saw was Islamic symbolism. Can you explain that a little bit for our audience? And we'll show some of the mock-up designs as well.
Yes. Yes, I'll try. And I was a member of the committee on that jury, as I said. And as soon as I saw that design, it had the obvious, clear-cut Muslim, Islamist symbols.
And you're talking about the red crescent, Tom. That's what you're talking about. We're looking at a drawing here of the field in Pennsylvania, and there's some trees that happen to be maple and sugar maples and things like that. It's sort of sometimes red during the year. So we're showing now what you see when you look at it, kind of a crescent symbol, which is an Islamic symbol.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I don't like it. I didn't like it that day. And people ask me even today, and I think you might, and I'm gonna try to answer. Why not reconvene the committee?
Yeah.
And throw the old design out. It's terribly tainted, and it bothers me to the point where I'll do what I can, and I'm using your show too.
Sure.
No, and you understand we understand the sensitivity to what this looks like. Before we talk to Kenny here, whose brother also perished on that flight, let's talk to Alec Rawls. Alex, you're a blogger. You sort of got caught up in this as well, and you even wrote a book about the Islamic symbolism that you feel this memorial represents. Tell us a little bit about why you have a problem with it.
Yeah, well, you can see from that initial Paul Murdoch's publicity photo that it appears to be just a bare naked Islamic crescent and star flag. There's the great big half-mile wide red crescent, as Tom just noted, And then situated right between the tips of the crescent is a memorial plaza. That's where Flight 93 crashed. So that's, if you've ever seen an Islamic flag, the star on the crescent and star flag is right between the tips of the crescent. So the Flight 93 crash site is positioned as the star on a crescent and star flag. And this is a construct that would be visible as a crescent and star flag from airliners like Flight 93 flying overhead. So it was quite shocking to people who saw it initially. And almost immediately when this was discovered, an anonymous blogger discovered that a person facing directly into this giant crescent would be facing almost exactly at Mecca. Now, he was an anonymous blogger, so about a half dozen of us, recognized that this needed to be fact-checked. And we all went and I used a great circle calculator, which is the way that Muslims calculate the direction to Mecca. I calculated the direction to Mecca by the great circle method, and I imposed that line, that direction, on a graphic of the site plan, and saw that indeed this person facing into this giant
Alec,
crescent is facing at Mecca.
That's what you see, the eye of the beholder here. Kenny, you looked at the plans.
Yes.
Why are you okay with it?
I think people are reading more into it.
Do you see that crescent? Do
no,
you
I do
equate
not.
It with the...
No, I don't. But I also look at it and try to tell you, have you ever been out to the crash site? The crash site speaks for itself, and the lay of the land dictates whatever you're going to put out there.
Because other people don't see a crescent. They see a bowl in the land, and they call it a bowl.
That's how I call it, or as my good friend John Reynolds here would say, it's hands holding the impact site of our loved ones.
It's the hand.
It's embracing the 40 heroes of Flight 93.
You're on the committee. I mean, there's a thousand different ideas that they looked at. 1,000. Why couldn't you just make it some other shape?
Because if you do this with your hand, that's the land there. The crash site is here at the end of this finger. The plane entered over my thumb and crashed, and this bowl holds. It's America holding its heroes who chose to fight back the first time. They won the first battle of the war on terror. And this memorial uses this holding of our hands, our nation's hands, to hold these people.
But it bothers some people. Why not just change a little bit? Make it.
There have been many changes made. There have been many changes made.
Tom Sr. is, I think we might have heard a little bit of laughing. Maybe sarcastic laughing back there. Do you have something to say?
Well, no sarcasm. I really like these guys, and I like all of the family members. I just think they're misguided. And, this interpretation of theirs ignores the taint that is left with that design. What we need to do, and I'm asking your audience, to call your congressman or congressperson and ask them to start over. Throw this one out and let's start over. And listen, I concede that we need some sort of investigation into this because this has persisted, and it's pretty. It's very pretty. The red trees and the whole thing. But listen, I don't like that type of interpretation because it's flawed.
You've gone so far as to say basically, if this is erected, you're not going to have your son's name on there, and that just shows how much this is affecting him.
And he does want his son's name.
I mean, I think you all agree. Yes, there should be something. Is there really no way that you feel that there can be any kind of change that will make everybody happy?
We have made change. I don't know what will make everybody happy.
Let's put up the. Let's put up some. Sarah, put up what the changes are real quick. Now this is see. Look what they've done. It's almost a circle now to me. And so, Alec, that's not a big enough change for you?
Yeah, let me explain why the change doesn't make any difference. You have to understand what this structure is. A crescent that people face into to face Mecca is called a mihrab. Muslims face Mecca 5 times a day to pray. A mihrab, this Mecca orientation indicator, and the archetypical one is the crescent shape, is the central feature around which every mosque is built. You go into any mosque in the country, and you will see this Mecca direction indicator as the head of the church.
But Alec, do you think Paul Murdoch, who's highly respected as a designer, did this on purpose?
We hosted an open competition in time of war. Of course, the enemy would enter this and try to win a memorial.
Come on, Paul Murdoch did this on purpose, Alec.
Absolutely.
Come on.
John, what do you think?
I have 100 pages of redundant proof.
Hold on, Alec.
We've asked Islamic scholars to look into this. We've asked geometrists and mathematicians to look into this, and they all have said there is no Islamic symbolism in this design at all.
If you thought there was, would you change it immediately?
Of course.
Yes. Alec.
Well, acknowledge that a person facing into this giant crescent is facing Mecca. Acknowledge that a Mecca orientation indicator like this is the central feature of every mosque.
How can something face a certain direction if it's a circle?
Let's talk about.
And
audience,
what we face is the line that plane at almost 600 miles an hour, upside down, entered that bowl and took the lives of the people who tried to save America that day. That's what that line is.
The thing that worries me, though, is Tom is so sincere about this. He lost his son, but he still sees it when he looks at it. Could you just change it a little bit more for him? Maybe not have red trees.
This week in Denver, we are working on changes to the design so that it fits the landscape exactly.
Well, it sounds like both parties seem to respect each other. I mean, I don't know, Alec thrown in there may shake things up a bit, but it seems like both parties respect each other, and hopefully there will be some sort of resolution here that's going to make everybody happy, because it is about the people who perished on that day.
You know, it is. It's all about them. It's not about myself. It's not
but
about
it is about
Tom.
the families as well. I mean, you lost your family members.
Yeah, but it's not what I want. It's what our nation wants for our loved ones to be honored, remembered, and cherished. That's the whole goal in this whole thing, is to see that those 40 people, those individuals, are remembered for generations to come.
But you respect what Tom's
feeling here,
very much so. Of course.
I would not know what it's like to lose one of my children, but also this is America. We have a right to say our own opinion. This is the beauty of our country. You know what I mean? What he sees and what I see.
And Tom agrees with that.
Yeah.
Tom, we want to give you the last word. Go ahead. Tom, last word?
Well, this matter of interpretation bothers me some because, you know, you can make anything out of it that you wish.
Yeah.
And like I conceded, it's very pretty and it's very nice, but just because it's that, we don't want that. We've got to throw it out. And we've got to start over, and you know it's nice, but that's not enough.
All right. Well, let us know, viewers, what you think. Log on to our website, mnjshow.com, and maybe have a little bit of dialogue on that website as well. Thank all of you for joining us.
Remember, Juliette, we talked with Tom 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was September 2005 when this first thing came up. So it's got to get resolved, and the best of luck to you all.
Thank you, gentlemen.